Hi there, I'm Ian McKenzie and I'm a digital marketing consultant. So what that means is I help businesses from Woolgoolga to Port Macquarie to establish an online presence, and then I help them promote it, and that gets them new customers. But what I'm doing here is I'm putting on a series of videos from some of the software tools that I come across and use, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there that would get the same sort of benefits that I do from them. And today's tool is one of those tools that you just use all the time. It helps you write. It doesn't matter whether it's a blog post or it's a social media post or whether you're putting together a proposal. It has a grammar and spell checker, and I mean that just stops you making embarrassing, silly writing mistakes and typos before you send your post or your proposal to your customers. And it works in the background. It's fairly seamless. It'll just point out things as you write, but it goes way beyond that, and in fact it can help you become a far better writer. And sometimes becoming a better writer means writing less and writing more simple text that just cuts through and gets the message out in the quickest, easiest digestible way. So it really covers all those things, and that's what we'll be going into today. But watch the video to the end, because I've got a tip that might save you some money if you intend to buy it. Okay, so on with the tip. As I mentioned, the tool I'm going to show you today will save you from making writing mistakes or those embarrassing typos, and it does this by checking your spelling and grammar as you write. Now, spelling and grammar is the most basic thing this tool does, but it does it very well by working seamlessly in the background in your social media posts, or whether you're filling out a web form or a web page, even if you're putting together a proposal in Microsoft Word. Here we are in a Facebook post. Notice the underlined words. These are suggestions to improve your grammar and spelling on this post. Blue's for grammar and the red underline is for spelling errors. The first suggestion is to add a comma. The next one is an interesting one because it suggests we replace 3 words with 1 word. That's one of the great things this tool does. It reduces the number of words you write, and this makes anything you write easier to read. The last one's a typo, and it's a hard one for any grammar checker to correct. It's an L before a C. So it's pointed out the error, and I wanted to show you this, that not all grammar and spell checkers are perfect. I meant to write customer in this case. If we have a look at a form like a contact form, it'll do the same thing. In fact, any web page that allows you to enter information, it will check. What if you have a website and you're working on a post or a page on that website? As you can see, it's showing some grammar suggestions for that too. In this post, it's pointing out the subheading spelling error. Now, I think that's enough for the grammar and spell checker. As you can see, it's pretty handy. The way I prefer to write things out is in the offline editor first. This is a downloadable app that'll work whether you're online or you're offline. There's a Mac version and there's a Windows version. I'm using the Mac version, but there's no difference between the two. You can also add an add-in for Microsoft Word, but I'll leave a link to that in the description below the video. You can copy and paste into the editor or start from scratch. If you start a file from scratch, you click File New. For this video, I've just pasted some text in. Now, there's a lot you can do with this tool, but in the limited time we have for this video, I just wanted to point out a couple of the options I use all the time. The RealTime option is a grammar and spell check wrapped up in one. I'll quickly go through these as you've seen it before, but notice once again it's pointing out that I can reduce these 4 words to 1. Keep doing that on a long form of text and you'll cut down what the reader has to read from 30 to 50% or more. So I'll just finish off this and we'll go to the next very helpful option. Let's look at the style option. One of the things this will do is further reduce the number of words you're using, but it also checks for what it calls readability enhancements. Now, if none of this makes much sense to you, you can click the More About This report link for explanations and examples. The next option we'll look at is readability. As you can see from the summary of this report, it points out the overall reading time of this text. It also points out this text is easy to read, but there's two slightly difficult to read paragraphs, which are underlined by that yellow olive type of colour. You may ask, how does this tool know what's easy or hard to read? If you click on the little green arrows next to each of the report items, it'll show you the different algorithms it uses to calculate readability. If you click on the Learn More About This report link, it gives you a good description of how it works. But I'll give you the short version. The lower the score, the more readable your text is. It even tells you what makes your text difficult to read, such as too much jargon, your sentences are too long, or your vocab is too complicated. Now there's two other quick things I want to show you before we end the video. If you click on the More button over here, there are plenty of other tools including a thesaurus. So if you're stuck for the right word to use, click that. Also, the sentence checker will check the length of your sentences to make sure your text is easy to read. The target here is between 11 to 18, so it's all good. The last thing. The summary here gives you a quick feedback on how the document's going. You can scroll down and view all the sections, but I usually just look at the top area to see if anything sticks out, like grammar or spelling that needs to be fixed. Now, I mentioned that if you watch the video to the end, it'll be worth your while. If you click the link beneath this video, it'll take you to the website where you can get this writing tool. Now, for transparency's sake, this link is an affiliate link and I will get a small commission if you click that link and you buy the product. It doesn't cost you any extra, but it does help support me to do more videos like this one, and I've got plenty more to show you. Thanks for watching, and if you want to be notified when the next tool tip's published, just choose how you'd like to connect with me using one of the social media channels below. Bye for now.